It's December, meaning that yes, it's Christmas time, and if you're watching this in another month of the year in the future, get over yourself. But yes, it's Christmas time right now, and Christmas comes wonderful times and also a large amount of food. And I myself enjoy engaging in the activity of consuming copious amounts of food that I'll probably slightly regret afterwards, and sometimes I'm just sat there eating the food, you know, it's Christmas Day or even Boxing Day, I'm eating that leftover turkey, and I'm just like, you know, I just wish somebody would just cut out the middleman of having to put this into my mouth and just, you know, do it for me. But sadly, I don't know anyone who would do that for me. It's a bit of a task, I won't lie. It's something which you probably couldn't pay someone to do. So, you know, I thought, actually, maybe I can hire someone to do this. And I started to do a little bit of research, and I stumbled upon some places on the internet that I didn't really want to stumble upon. And then that deep dive led me further down another rabbit hole, which led me down another rabbit hole, which led me down another rabbit hole, and I ended up on a YouTube channel called Amberlynn Reid. Yes, meet Amberlynn Reid. If you don't know who this individual is, pretty much Amberlynn Reid is a world-famous YouTuber who gained a lot of traction over the last few years as she started creating content in 2014 specifically around the genre of losing weight, and then she proceeded to gain over 200 pounds. It's a bit of a strange story, but that is pretty much the tip of the iceberg. Because yes, if you didn't know, Amberlynn Reid in the modern day is known for far more than her weight loss. She's known for being exposed consistently, constant controversy, drama, her exposing individuals, then she gets exposed, and then somebody else gets exposed. There's lies, there's reacting to her own lies, there's manipulation, and genuinely, this individual has just been involved in so many situations at this point. It's just, well, honestly, it's its own cinematic universe.
Okay guys, so there's something that
Yes, Merry Christmas, you sick, twisted individuals. Today we're going to be speaking about the Amberverse. And I should probably confirm that I am actually trying to hire somebody to feed me turkey. As much as I am a disgustingly lazy individual, just as you are right now, you sick, twisted individual, I'm not really looking for that. So if you were going to comment down below, oh yeah, please, I'd love to do that for you free, just stop. But yes, to summarize Amberlynn Reid, if you actually didn't know who this individual is, because, I don't know, you haven't been on the internet longer than a week, Amberlynn Reid is a lot. She's a lot, and I've done a whole iceberg on her, and I highly encourage you after this video doing a bit of a deep dive into Amberlynn Reid, because yes, as I said, today we're going to be going into the Amberverse, or Girl World. It's got a lot of names to it. This is, I'm not joking, an actual cinematic universe. There is so much to do with Amberlynn Reid, which it would be honestly impossible to fit it into one video. Don't give me any ideas. I can't do another 7-hour video. But the reason we're here today is because 2024 has just been, well, it's just been an absolute mental year for Amberlynn Reid. This woman has just been involved in just some absolutely ridiculous things this year, to a point of where I am actually concerned for her, as are her audience. And today, pretty much what I want to do is go through absolutely everything in a detailed chronological order of just explaining what the hell is going on. Seriously, what is actually going on with Amberlynn Reid? And this story all starts off by me getting a little DM from one of you little freaks being like, Fraser, can you speak about Amberlynn Reid? She's been involved in a lot of stuff this year. So I started doing a bit of Googling. I saw, oh yeah, Amberlynn, she's involved in a lot of drama. There's a lot of video titles here. But it all just kind of seemed like personal relationship drama, and I can't lie to you, I don't really care about that. It doesn't really interest me for the most part. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to move on with my life. But then my good buddy, also podcast co-host Obese to Beast, uploaded a video, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna support this man. He's a lovely man, and I don't know where I'm going with this. He's a nice guy, and we do a podcast together, which you should subscribe to. But yeah, I watched the video, and after that video, I was like, yeah, I've got to look a bit more into this. It seems a bit more than relationship drama. And after about an hour of Googling, I discovered so much information that I don't really need in my head right now. Amberlynn is dating somebody that is actually putting her in serious danger. Amberlynn Reid has been exposed for defending said dangerous person has had leaked photos and images and everything else leaked about. Amberlynn Reid defends again dangerous person. Amberlynn Reid has moved in with dangerous person. Amberlynn Reid is doing more Amberlynn Reid. Amberlynn Reid's cat has done. Another person has spoken up about said danger. Hey, stop it! And yes, I've sat through too many videos speaking about Amberlynn Reid. I am burning my hand right now. There is very hot coffee in this. There's a handle there, and I've I've chosen not to hold it. But yes, I did my research into this. I discovered that there's a lot of stuff, and I thought, you know what, I've got to make a video going through all of this. And my investigation started with my podcast. Yes, Over the Pond, which I just mentioned, that I do with Obese to Beast. Pretty much we did this video where we did a deep dive into everything to do with what's been going on with Amberlynn Reid in 2024, and it helped me come to more of an understanding of everything going on here. And with that, I then went onto my computer that night and started doing more digging, more research, and I discovered some honestly pretty disturbing things, and I think we just need to start off by getting to the very beginning of this story. So yes, sit back, don't go speak to your family, even though it's Christmas for most of you right now. You are all very sad, and so am I, because we're all here, so pats on the back to everyone, I guess, for being not occupied with loving families. Great. We're all sad. Please subscribe to the channel at least. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my podcast. But yes, let's get into things. Sorry, this video, it's meant to be serious, but I'm trying to be all jovial and Christmassy. I don't know why. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, our story begins on the 8th of July, 2024, where Amberlynn Reid announced a Christmas miracle in July that she has a girlfriend in a video titled Meeting My Girlfriend in Person, Torrid Tryon Hall, and 4th of July. Now, for context to everybody, as an Amberlynn Reid connoisseur, I know, and all of the people watching this video right now know, that Amberlynn Reid is someone that you could consider to be a rather impulsive individual. Amberlynn is somebody that will have one thing happen, one slight inconvenience, and she will make a video on it, acting like the world is over, and everything is just completely hell on earth. And in a lot of cases as well, this applies to her relationships. Amberlynn Reid will meet somebody, and she will tell everybody, you know, this person, they might be the one. And it seems that this was another case of that, because Amberlynn starts off the video by saying,
Okay guys, so there's something that I want to tell you about. I know it's like really soon and sudden, like I understand that, but timelines are not a thing. And you guys know that with me. Like, you could know someone for years and years and not feel super close to them, and then know someone for like a couple days and instantly feel like a super strong connection. And I know there's a lot of people out there who relate to that. It's literally just all about energy, connection, the way someone makes you feel, who they are as a person, and like, it's like when you know type thing.
Now yes, this is definitely a very true thing that a lot of adults experience. You can definitely not have a romantic spark with somebody for years, and then you meet that one individual and suddenly you have a romantic spark with them. Now the problem is here, as an adult, you usually identify what the core issue is here between these two things. You separate the individual that you have a spark with and one that you don't have a spark with. The one that you don't have a romantic spark with is a friend, and that individual that you have a spark with is probably a potential suitable partner. That sounds really weird. It could be a potential lover, yeah? And Amberlynn, she's a lover, you know. She is an absolute lover, but sadly, Amberlynn is somebody that is also a very impulsive lover, and when the moment she meets somebody that isn't a friend and is someone with that big spark, she thinks, I've got to put all my eggs in one basket. And obviously, this is not really a mature way to go about things. Usually most adults realize that, okay, I found a spark with somebody. That doesn't necessarily mean that I need to go and commit my entire life to them and get married to them within the first week. But Amberlynn, no, she can't make these distinguishments, these lines in between things, separating barriers, implementing barriers. Amberlynn has to jump straight in, put all the eggs in one basket, and they all crack, and it goes absolutely terribly.
I don't want to sit here and talk about my ex or anything like that, but I knew her for almost a year and never remotely felt like this. So that's how I know, like, timelines are a load of crap.
Now, I'm absolutely happy for Amberlynn. I don't really care, to be honest with you, but Amberlynn, she's in a relationship now, or she's in an e-relationship. Basically, Amberlynn Reid is an e-dater, and I don't really care too much about that. She can go about her relationships in any way she wants, but I am gonna, since I'm building up the timeline right now, and it will get to more impactful, serious stuff, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on this and say, it's not really a good thing that you didn't have these feelings to the person that you were with previously for a year, and now you're instantly having these feelings. It's not good for a certain reason, because that's obviously going to play into Amberlynn's impulsive personality. She didn't get the feelings that she's having now with the person that she was with for a year, and obviously that's going to send her into overdrive. She's going to be wanting all of the attention possible. She's going to be wanting that love because she didn't have it for so long and she was probably craving that, and now it's there in front of her. It's very obvious that Amberlynn wanted to jump all the way in. Which, yeah, on face value for most individuals, that's actually a pretty nice thing. But the problem is Amberlynn Reid is an influencer very much known for being spoken about in a lot of controversial ways. Amberlynn Reid is only really discussed for negative reasons. Amberlynn Reid, if she ever says any private information about herself, that's going to be dissected and spoke about because of the amount of drama that this woman has got herself into and the amount of times that she's been exposed. So immediately jumping onto the internet and letting the whole world know that you have a relationship, you're now dating a new individual who you've only known for like a week, it's a recipe for disaster, and that recipe is definitely going to be fed to Amberlynn.
There are such beautiful stories of people who like literally get married within a week of knowing each other and they stay together for 30 years plus, but then there's people who knew each other for 10 years, get married, and then they're only together for a year. It's just like, what? It just goes to show that like it's really just not a thing.
Now look, everybody out there wants their big romantic relationship where things are amazing from the very beginning and you get together, you get married, and you never break up. But the reality is that's not every single relationship. Contrary to what Amberlynn is saying here, most relationships are absolutely timeline based. Most people, they meet somebody, they build up their relationship over time, they eventually get together, and yeah, maybe down the line they get married and it's all wonderful and they last together forever and ever. But the reality is most things are timeline based, and as you go further into adulthood, you should really understand that jumping into things from the very get-go into like nothing, into a serious committed relationship in the space of like a week is always something that is really destined for disaster. Take it from me, from my experience, take it from Amberlynn's audience's experience, take it from anyone's experience. As an adult, you should approach relationships with more caution so things don't get so chaotic and destructive. As a teenager, it's something you go through, and to me personally, it does kind of signify that Amberlynn Reid isn't necessarily the most mature of individuals. The fact that she is willing to jump into things like this and then immediately publicize it to her audience who are oh so critical of her, it shows to me that she is immature, and it also shows to me that she definitely wants a lot of attention. And again, if you're watching this right now and you don't know who Amberlynn Reid is, and you're probably thinking that I'm being a little bit mean right now, if you go into the Amberlynn verse and you start to research her and watch videos about her, you will soon come to agree with pretty much everything that I'm saying right now. And this is where I want to actually introduce something that I like to know as the Amberlynn Reid cycle, and I've made a little chart for you guys. I've actually put some effort in, and that's not to say I don't put effort in usually, but I've put in some special effort. So if you could like the video for my effort, that would mean a lot. Introducing the Amberlynn Reid cycle, and it goes like this. Stage 1, Amberlynn reveals random piece of private information, in this case, her relationship. Stage 2, her community starts to speak about it, which right now they are at least at that point of time, they were absolutely doing. Stage 3, they do digging and find things to criticize her for. And as you're going to discover, this stage will take place very soon. And then we move on to stage 4, Amberlynn makes video crying, stage 5, the community gets more mad at her, and stage 6, Amberlynn uploads weight loss / gain related video to move everyone on from the original drama. And my friends, something you're going to discover as we go further through this video is this cycle is very much implemented throughout the drama of 2024. In fact, it is so accurate, this cycle, that it kind of scares me, because I invented this cycle at the very beginning of writing this script and doing my research. And as I got to the ending, I was like, oh my god, I have actually like made a monumental formula here, which will be used throughout all of my future Amberlynn Reid videos. But yes, with this cycle in your mind, keep it in there for now, and let's move on to the next part of Amberlynn's video, where she, reveals more details about her relationship, which definitely won't be dug into and deep dived all around of the internet.
This is my life. This is my story. This is just, you guys, I feel thoroughly so happy right now. I have a girlfriend. Yes, I do. And we are in a long distance relationship. I want to just like share this side of me. I'm not a secret, and I feel special. I feel loved. I feel important. I feel like a priority. Like, those aren't feelings that I've felt for a very long time. Like, I feel genuinely seen, like, as a person. We will be meeting in person literally before this month is even over.
I feel like this is how I sounded when I was 13 years old and announcing my e-relationship to my parents. Oh yeah, we met on RuneScape, and he's definitely not a 45-year-old man, and I am definitely not being groomed. Director's note: he was being groomed. Basically, what I'm trying to say here, as much as right now this isn't the deepest, most wildest thing that Amberlynn's doing, it definitely does come off as a little bit immature. And you know, immaturity does come from love. And Amberlynn, as we've said, she's a lover. She loves to go into the deep end. And, you know, maybe we can cut some slack for now. But let's continue. But yeah, the cutting of slack starts to end immediately when somebody points out that yes, Amberlynn says she never felt like this, which is just something that she has said multiple times about pretty much every single relationship that she has ever been in. And yes, as somebody that's made Amberlynn Reid videos for like 5 years at this point of time, I can confirm this is very much something Amberlynn does in every single relationship. She immediately falls head over heels for somebody, and then people dig into their relationship because Amberlynn revealed too many details, and yeah, big exposés come out. It turns out everything is terrible, and Amberlynn Reid gets more and more exposed, and things just go awful. It's the cycle that repeats, and we're in it again. It's just this time it's a little bit more crazy than usual. But yes, Amberlynn goes on to confirm, of course, that she, despite never actually meeting this person at this point of time, she is in love with them. And e-daters, if you're watching this right now, I'm truly sorry for coming after you. I did not mean it. I've also, when I was like 14, probably e-dated someone. Maybe.
She's genuinely really, really special to me. I cannot wait to meet her in person. Like, we're gonna have so much fun together. And her name is Tommy. So yeah, I'm really excited. I have to share this with you guys. And I know, like, this is crazy and probably coming out of nowhere, but it's like the universe is like, we got you, Amberlynn. We got you, Tommy. Like, you guys are about to be happy together. And like, we really are. And it's like, we're so similar in the way that we love. And I have so, like, strongly just wanted that in my life. The way that I love someone, I want to be loved in that way as well. And it's like, I finally found it, because it's like, I give so much of myself. I give my all, and I'm such a romantic, and I'm super mushy gushy and sweet. And it's like, she's the same way. And it's like, oh my God, I'm like, it's just wonderful.
So it's official, boys. Get the handcuffs out. Send her to jail. Amberlynn Reid is officially an e-dater. Yeah, I know it's a disgusting crime that a lot of us are guilty of. I say a lot. I feel like I'm exposing myself, right? Look, I was a sad little child, and I was quite on the large scale, and, you know, things, I was greasy. Yeah, why am I saying that? I played a lot of RuneScape, and I was like, I was 10, I think, and I'm just gonna stop. Yeah, this really wasn't much of a big deal. Yeah, Amberlynn, she's in love. But again, this falls into the cycle that I mentioned earlier in the first stage of Amberlynn just reviewing more and more private information that's obviously going to get people talking. And of course, that leads us into the next section of where, well, people got talking. Because something Amberlynn revealed in this video was the name of her brand new lovely girlfriend. And that name was Tommy. And now Tommy is going to become a main character in this story, but for now, we're just going to put that to the side. Because things were moving quickly. On July the 16th, Amberlynn revealed to the world that she will be here soon, and soon it was, as on the 22nd of July 2024, Amberlynn uploaded, I met my long-distance girlfriend for the first time. And there is something quite beautiful about that title. It kind of reads here that this is somebody meeting after years upon years of e-dating, and look, as a former, I've got to stop going into it. As somebody that is engaged on online, all right, as e-dating, we've got to outlaw it. But, you know, Amberlynn, she was trying to break out of the mold. She was trying to no longer be an e-dater. Good for her, I guess. But the funny part is obviously she's only known Tommy for about 2 weeks at this point, and she's made 3 videos on Tommy. And it's just like, Amberlynn, do you ever feel like things just like don't need to be on the internet? Again, though, I say that, and I've revealed too much information about myself in this video. I'm making jokes. I'm a comedian, I promise. Okay. But yes, Amberlynn, she did meet Tommy, and at the beginning of the video where she finally meets Tommy, she answers a few questions that a lot of people had been asking.
Okay, you guys, so in an hour, I will be meeting her. I do want to answer some of your guys' questions really quickly. Just like a few things that I've noticed. One, how long have I known her? Literally today marks exactly a month since she messaged me for the first time. The energy is giving me very much like when you know, you know. I was actually just watching Bobby Altoff's new episode of her podcast today, and Jelly Roll was on there with his wife. They literally got married after knowing each other for only a month, and they've been together for a long time, since 2015. The next question is, has she seen my body? Does she know about my size? Yes, we FaceTime a lot. And normally, like when I've FaceTimed in the past with like partners, I like show the ceiling. I'm very much like this coded, like MySpace angles. But with her, I'm super comfortable. And I'm like, this is me. Like I've shown her my legs, my body, my just everything.
Now, there will be a few people watching this right now who already know about this drama, and they're going to be hearing that, and they're going to be thinking, really? And I'm just going to hold you all there and say, let's just hold up for the people that haven't actually read anything in this story, the people with actual lives, unlike me and you. Let's just hold that there, and just, to the people that don't know what this is going to go into, just keep the thought in your mind that Tommy has reassured Amberlynn that she doesn't care about the weights, which is lovely at the face value, but she doesn't care. And I want you to keep that in your big mind. Because yes, moving on, Amberlynn and Tommy, they met. Things went really well, seemingly. They had a great time hanging out, and Amberlynn went on to confirm that everything was peachy, everything was beautiful, everything was perfect, and they were in sweet, sweet love.
Okay, guys, so she's currently in the shower, and it's been a few days that she's been here, and perfection. We have done so much since she's been here, and it's just been like, honestly, it feels like a dream. Like I need to be pinched multiple times. My life is literally changing, and it's gonna change even more. All right, so she left like 10 minutes ago, and yes, there was definitely some crying. Like everything went a million trillion times better than like either of us could ever imagine. And I already just like miss her so much, and she's just the most amazing person. Truly, like the most amazing person I've ever gotten the privilege of knowing. It's crazy because you meet so many people in your lifetime. Like you think people are great, and then you finally meet that one person that like changes your whole outlook on just like life in general and people and love. I currently want to just go curl up in a ball and just like cry. We had so much fun together, and like we mesh perfectly together. Like it's crazy.
So yes, everything's wonderful. Amberlynn's in love. Great. Things are going to be awesome now. She's not going to get exposed. There's not going to be terrible things happening, and things are just going to be magical. But there is one problem. I just can't help but notice that the comments section is turned off. Now, when I see a turned off comment section, it usually indicates that there is a problem. It usually indicates that a content creator is trying to hide something. Amberlynn, what are you trying to hide? Well, my friends, this is when we get into a TikTok that Amberlynn uploaded and shortly deleted, where it shows Amberlynn and, of course, Tommy meets Tommy. Yes, this is the face reveal, and I should just say Tommy has appeared in multiple videos after this. This is not me dissing them, but yes, this is Tommy. And now we've got a face, we've got a name, and of course, Amberlynn Reid is somebody with an audience that are very, very dedicated to her. They like to talk about her, they like to look into things, because Amberlynn is known as a big, big old liar, hence reacting to me lying. Big, big meme. So of course, people started to do some digging into this said Tommy figure. And people found this individual called Emily, and there was some interesting things going on here, where people started to make comparisons between the person in the video that Amberlynn uploaded and said Emily, and it very much appeared that Emily and Tommy had identical tattoos in the exact same spots, and there are a lot of comparisons out there, and I should just say, aside from the ones that you've just seen, I've done my analysis into this. They are the exact same tattoo, and they are in the exact same spot to the very, very detail. And this is where things start to get weird, because we then introduce Willow, who seemingly is identical to Tommy and Emily. We have three individuals that all look the same, and triplets was not on my research list. Triplets, throw out the window. I don't think that's happening here. And then things get even weirder because there's this person next to Willow right here. And this comes from some person running a couples account on a certain website, which is specifically designed around people who are into people being fed food. And as you can see in the profile picture, this person here next to this other individual sure does look like the triplets Willow, Tommy, and Emily. And to basically cut an extremely long story short, pretty much this was Tommy. Tommy had been going under multiple different names on social media over the years, and Tommy was running a couples account with their former ex-partner on a website which played into, well, how do I say this without getting demonetized? That basically, there are people out there, and as I said, they are into a certain thing, and when I say into, I mean they really like a certain thing of where a large person gets fed food by that person and they get bigger and bigger. It's a thing. It's a thing that a lot of people are in. And I should just say, for YouTube reasons, I'm of course talking about they just love food. They love going to restaurants and having a good time. Between me and you, there's more. I can't say the details because of, issues of YouTube. But then moving on, we get into the account, which is called Contrast Couples Posts. And it says here, what am I reading this for? I've got a degree. I've got a degree. I went to university. I'm not even joking. I have a degree, which is sadly now redundant because the degree was in computer science and now AI is taking over. So my degree, I wouldn't even get a job at McDonald's. And if you're watching and you work at McDonald's, why did you rat the guy out? Sorry, too political. But yes, the post says, I had Domino's today, all to myself, among other treats. Little treats. But that one stands out. Perhaps next time I skip all the other food and just get like 4 of those. My belly was... that didn't say that. I don't know where that came from. My belly was not only super full today, but I was super happy. The only thing missing was my Willow to feed me. And again, yes, Willow is Emily, who is seemingly Tommy, who is seemingly Amberlynn Reid's partner. And this then led into research into the ex-partner of Tommy, and people started to discover that this person's name was Colleen. And this is where things start to get really, really dark. Because people discovered that B, the person that they go by on that website, also known as Colleen, has been on multiple television shows which confirmed that her weight got up to 700 pounds, and people have also said that Colleen got to around 1,000 pounds. And naturally, people started to put 2 and 2 together here. This individual, Emily, Tommy, whatever you want to go by, a lot of people have put 2 and 2 together that this person who Amberlynn is now dating is someone that wants to get people to a bigger size because they, like that. And this caused a lot of understandable worry. But it doesn't end there, because you can just be worried about that from the very get-go, but then there are some finer details that you need to learn. People found out pretty much that Colleen, the former partner of Tommy, passed away, and most people have speculated it was due to the fact that they were around 1,000 pounds. And of course, that caused a lot of people out there to start blaming Tommy, saying she was at least partially responsible given the posts on those websites. And there are so many posts that I'm not going to show for TOS reasons, but there are so many posts that are very easily found on places like Reddit, and they very much show that Tommy was engaging in this behavior, and it does not look good considering Colleen very much featured on multiple television shows where she spoke about her weight. And then you consider the fact that sadly and tragically, Colleen is no longer with us. But then it gets even weirder when I found this screenshot where it was somebody confirming that Colleen and Tommy were also, just like Tommy and Amberlynn, in a long distance relationship. But then you need to consider that Colleen passed away in April 2024, and then consider the fact that Amberlynn announced their relationship in July of 2024, where she has also confirmed that she actually met Tommy on the internet around a month prior, which could either be June or May, depending what Amberlynn's accuracy is for a month. So you start to put 2 and 2 together, and it really does feel that Tommy is someone that looks for a partner that they can exploit pretty much in a very, very terrible manner. And of course, that made Amberlynn's audience very, very worried. And Amberlynn is somebody that gets criticized by her audience more than pretty much any other audience out there, and in a lot of cases, rightly so. But in this case, it genuinely did seem that a lot of people were worried for Amberlynn. I saw multiple videos covering this, basically just stating they are just worried for Amberlynn's well-being. And I can completely understand why. Because think back to that clip that I told some of you to remember earlier.
Has she seen my body? Does she know about my size? Yes, we FaceTime a lot. And normally, like, when I've FaceTimed in the past with like partners, I like show the ceiling. I'm very much like this coded, like MySpace angles. But with her, I'm super comfortable. And I'm like, this is me. Like, I've shown her my legs, my body, my just everything.
With the context of everything that I've told you, obviously that clip seems a lot more heavier than it did before. And yes, as I said, of course, so many people were speaking about this. This became the talk of the town in the Amberlynn verse. And of course, like she always does, she responded in a video titled Addressing the Rumours. And the video starts off with Amberlynn crying, and she's talking about how her and Tommy had a really good time together. But of course, there were bigger issues at hand that Amberlynn goes into, where she starts off by pretty much straight up denying everything that's been said about Tommy.
There are so many rumors being made up about her, things that are just like wild. Obviously, I have not heard every single rumor, so I can't sit here and deny or confirm every single thing, because literally it's just a lot. But I do want to talk about some of the rumors that I have heard, because I feel like that's super important. So the first thing is, no, she is not a feeder. People think that she's a feeder, and she's definitely not that. Like, yes, she has a specific type.
She has a specific type. But despite being on a website that caters to that specific type, none of the things being said about Tommy with her being a feeder, that can't possibly be true. It just, to me, with all the evidence that we've seen and with all the evidence that is floating on the internet that I haven't even put on this video, to me it makes no sense whatsoever. And in fact, it also gives us a confirmation that Tommy definitely is the person that, even though we already knew it, Tommy definitely is the person in all of those screenshots, and we definitely know that Tommy does like that specific body type. And now Amberlynn does go on to say that everyone in the past that she's been with does prefer bigger girls, and look, that's completely fair, but honestly, I don't think that's what people are worried about or complaining about at this point of time. People are obviously worried for Amberlynn's well-being. They don't care if somebody like prefers a specific body type, or they like this guy or that guy or this girl or that girl. No one cares about that. People are just worried because they have seen that Amberlynn Reid is dating somebody that has a very suspicious history. And notice again how the comment section once again is turned off. To me personally, this is just a case of Amberlynn trying to hide away the truth. She doesn't want her audience that don't really know what she's speaking about to learn what is going on, to see the screenshots, and just work out that Amberlynn is not exactly telling the truth. But of course, Amberlynn goes on to confirm once again that, you know, Tommy definitely isn't this thing that she's been caught on multiple websites doing.
9 times out of 10, when someone my size is in a relationship, it's more than likely because I am that person's type. And that's no different in this relationship. But to be a feeder is a completely different topic. A feeder versus someone who prefers bigger girls, two completely different things. And she is not that. She is not a feeder. I would never in a million years be in a relationship with one.
So that was a fucking lie.
I mean, if that's the case, why are there multiple a lot of screenshots out there? Trust me, I've had to look through too many of them. They're all there. Are those screenshots all just fake? Are they not real? Do they just not exist? Because they pretty much say to me that she definitely is this specific thing that people are worried about. People are worried about your safety, Amberlynn, and rightly so. Somebody has tragically passed away. And yeah, naturally, audiences were just really confused and angry with what Amberlynn had to say here. Because realistically, this was a very, very rare moment of where people were actually just kind of worried and concerned and just trying to be nice to Amberlynn and being like, we're concerned. There's this history here. You probably should like step away from that. And Amberlynn's just being like really combative and just lying once again. And it is kind of sad because you do know that Amberlynn, she's a lover. As I said earlier, she desperately wants to be in a relationship with someone and have a happy ever after. But sadly, this is not going to be a case of that, and as you're going to discover, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse, and that leads us to the next video that Amberlynn uploaded, and that is, It's Over, in which Amberlynn says people don't know the story behind everything, and because of all the drama, her and Tommy, of course, they've broken up.
But because of this, me and now my ex, we are not together anymore, and this has left her like debilitated. Like literally, like her mental health has gone down so much. Like she's literally one of the greatest people, and it's like to see people say things that are not true at all.
Now look, Amberlynn definitely has the full right to be upset with the situation that was ongoing right there. I'm not going to come on here and say how dare Amberlynn not be upset that she's now broken up with her partner because it exploded into this big public dispute, but there are some issues here with Amberlynn pretty much going on to get upset at her audience for simply being worried about the facts that we have looked at so far in this video. I personally think Amberlynn has the right to be upset, but at the same time, I also think naturally Amberlynn's audience, or pretty much anyone, has the right to be worried and concerned based on Tommy's history. And I think this whole video is just a testament to how many problems Amberlynn causes for herself, because the reality is she didn't need to reveal any of the information that she's revealed over the last couple of months. She did not need to tell her audience that she's in a new relationship with somebody that she's only known for a week. She didn't need to do that, but she did. And you can only really think to yourself, if you know about the Amberlynn verse or Girl World, whatever you want to call it, that she is just doing most of this for attention. But at the same time, the situation does seem a bit more serious than a lot of situations that have been presented towards Amberlynn over the years. So naturally, I think a lot of people were thinking, yes, Amberlynn is definitely doing a lot of things for attention, but at the same time, I think people were also concerned. And going back to the cycle, we're now at around stage 5/6 of where Amberlynn makes a video crying, and that makes her community get even more mad at her. Because yes, as you can imagine, her community definitely got mad at her, because they pretty much just saw this video as another example of Amberlynn pretty much just trying to gaslight her audience into believing something else completely different to the actual narrative that there is. People weren't coming after Amberlynn for being in a relationship. People were coming after Tommy because they saw some very concerning things. And then of course, after this video and all of the controversy going around, Amberlynn completes the cycle by uploading another weight gain / loss related video. And it is kind of hilarious that you're gonna see this cycle get repeated every single time. It's like poetry, man.
It's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
But yes, after this, the story does just continue to go down a trajectory of just getting increasingly more insane. You've probably started off this video being like, why does Fraser care about relationship drama? Well, as you're going to discover, things just get worse and worse as we keep on going. Because yes, Amberlynn then went on to upload another video titled, This Has All Gone Way Too Far. And in this video, Amberlynn speaks about how everything is going on around her right now and Tommy is just defamation and completely terrible, and that Amberlynn no longer wants to do YouTube anymore. Which again is another case of Amberlynn saying something that she said a million times before, and obviously it led to absolutely nothing, and that actually plays into some of the things that Amberlynn discusses in this video that actually really piqued my interest. Because in this video, Amberlynn actually confirms for, I believe, one of the first times that during a lot of her time on YouTube, she had actually done a lot of stuff for attention. She did a little bit of trolling, and it's like, yeah, I didn't really need to have this confirmed, but I'm kind of glad yet confused at the same time that she has done this.
I do take partial credit into all of this. Years ago, I became a troll, a huge troll. I almost asked for the negativity, especially like 2019, 2018, 2017. I almost asked for it. Any attention was good attention for me. Even if it was bad, even if it made me feel like but as someone who's going to be 34 years old, I regret that. I regret that side of me.
Now look, this is a bit confusing to me because whilst I'm glad Amberlynn is, I guess, changing, she's learned from her mistakes, at the same time, there is obviously a glaring issue here. Amberlynn is admitting that she has a history of where a large section of her time on YouTube was her lying and doing things for attention and trolling just to get more and more views, but now she kind of expects us to believe that she isn't in that phase, despite Amberlynn is pretty much more dramatic than she has ever been on YouTube. Every single video she uploads at this point is just, everything is terrible, the world's ending, and I am sad. And it's like, what do you expect from me or the general audience? Are we just meant to believe that you're now in this new arc of where you're not trolling and doing things for attention, just mysteriously during this era of where you're in a lot of controversy, more controversy than you've been in for the last few years? To me and everybody else in the comment section, this just did kind of seem that Amberlynn was pretty much just, again, self-inflicting a lot of controversy and pain onto herself by admitting these things, because, yeah, you're gonna vindicate a lot of people that have said the things that she admitted to there, but also you're just gonna have people say, well, things haven't really changed. But then moving away from that and getting further down into this video, we then need to move into some of the more insane things, and there is a bit of lore in this video to do with Amberlynn Reid, which I heard it one time and I was like, that can't be real. But no, we're actually going to get into some lore of where we discover that Amberlynn Reid is actually a homewrecker. Because yes, Amberlynn goes on to speak about one of her previous relationships before Tommy with somebody called Valentine. And I'm just going to allow Amberlynn to take this away and explain to you her accounting of these events.
I'm scared. I'm scared to talk about this. I am. So many of you thought Valentine was fake. That was the biggest thing. Valentine isn't real. Valentine isn't real. And I accepted it for what it was. I was like, they don't want to believe me, that's fine. I'm actively having so much anxiety for what I'm about to say. Like, whoo. Valentine's name is Erica, and Erica had a wife.
Do you know what I just don't get about this? Is like, is there any need to tell me this? I feel like I don't need to know this information. Why is this on your YouTube channel with 200,000+ subscribers? And again, it plays into the thing of Amberlynn in this very same video saying that yes, she used to do things for attention. And it's like, well, why are you then telling me about your relationship, which really isn't relevant in this story? Like, why am I needing to know about this? But then it just gets insane because, yes, obviously she said that this person had a wife. And I'm like, again, I don't need to know this.
I'm about to reveal screenshots that I could find because this is the only way that I'm going to prove it.
But why? Like, all the screenshots in the world can prove that you are not involved in this. You didn't mean to get involved in this. You're not a homewrecker. But at the end of the day, why? I don't really understand any of this. And look, I've done the research, I've put the pieces together, and I know what's happening here, but I don't understand the need for Amberlynn to get on her camera and just let everyone know in 4K, yeah, I got involved in a little bit of homewrecking. It's like, Amberlynn, you can do that without telling me or the hundreds of thousands of people that spend their time criticizing you on the internet, rightly so at a lot of occasions. It just makes no sense. And I know people are going to be like, get to the point, Fraser, get to the point. But this is the point. Amberlynn is like addicted to telling everyone her personal business. And I'm here to say, Amberlynn, you just don't need to do this. Like, there is literally no need. but she just keeps on speaking.
Here is me not making time for my friends because I am literally always giving every single part of me to Erica. You guys know I struggle with BPD. So one of those things is when I get into a relationship, my partner literally consumes me.
That is quite ironic given, you know, the context of her relationship with Tom.
Whether they try to or not. Do you guys remember that night when my mom stayed the night with me and we colored like children and people were like, oh my God, they're such children. Yeah, that was when I was breaking up with Erica. Here's my friend Alexis just being Alexis. And to top it all off, here's a screenshot of me telling Alexis that Erica's wife called me while I was at a birthday party. Remember that birthday party I went to when I was outside? It was super hot. It was at a park. It was that day. You guys went from believing Valentine was fake to them believing Valentine was my most recent ex, all for entertainment.
Again, Amberlynn, that's great and all, like, okay, you've disproved a few rumors that were floating around on Reddit, because that's where this all stems from. Amberlynn loves to do this thing of where there's an occasional Reddit post or drama video of like 5,000 views about her personal business, and she insists on getting on camera and speaking about it, and usually confirming pretty much every single thing. And if you're watching this right now and you don't know who Amberlynn Reid is until you stumbled upon this video, you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, why does she keep on doing this? And honestly, I don't really know. The only real pointer that I can put here is the pointer to the direction of the fact that she just wants to do everything for attention, and basically her personal life is all that she has to make content with at this point, so she's just going to exploit every single detail, no matter how much it makes her look worse, or no matter how much drama it puts her in. And honestly, it is quite a sad cycle, but again, it is the Amberlynn Reid cycle. But this is where things start to get even crazier, of where I started to do some digging into this relationship between Erica and Amberlynn, and I'm not going to show all the screenshots and all the clips, because I could be here for years, ladies and gentlemen. Instead, I'm just going to explain the notes that I've taken to kind of explain their relationship, and it is like one of the most mentally ill things I think I've ever witnessed, and I can say that I am mentally ill. But basically, from my understanding, Amberlynn had an affair with somebody that started off their relationship by DMing Amberlynn. And the reason that they actually DM'd Amberlynn wasn't because, oh, they thought Amberlynn was cute, or, you know, they wanted to get into knowing Amberlynn. No, apparently, this individual, Erica, who was in a marriage with another individual, her and that person she was married to decided it would be really funny if they DM'd, or she got her partner to DM Amberlynn and be like, oh, start a fake relationship with her, troll her. That would be really, really funny. Yeah, it would be really, really funny to have a fake affair. You're weird. But then things start to get even crazier, because Erica, yeah, she DM'd Amberlynn, but the problem is that Erica started to fall in love with Amberlynn whilst actually being married to her partner, who told her to DM Amberlynn, and her partner was also apparently like a therapist or something. And I know you're gonna get mad at me for not going into the specific details, but all you really need to know is these people that did this, not Amberlynn, the married couple, are mental to a degree of you need to be sectioned and actually analysed, psychoanalyzed, because if you're in a marriage with somebody and your bit of fun of the day is let's go start a fake affair with a clearly not mentally stable woman on the internet, honestly, you are just as bad, if not worse, than Amberlynn Reid, because this is just one of the wildest things that I think I've ever seen. But yeah, their fake relationship or affair turned into like a real thing, and Amberlynn actually won Erica over and basically became Amberlynn's girlfriend, and it just got really, really messy, and there were a lot of rumors floating around, and yeah, Amberlynn all but confirmed this in this video. And again, it just brings up the question of why do I know this information? I said at the beginning of this video, I didn't really want to make videos about people's personal relationships for the most part, unless it's like a Ned Former situation where, you know, this guy's built his reputation on his wife. Oh, I love my wife, that's why I cheated on her and ruined our entire lives. Unless it's something like that, where it's actually pretty interesting to speak about, I, for the most part, don't really care if your favorite influencer cheats on their favorite influencer. It's like, that's none of my business. Yes, I think you're a bellend, but realistically, there's nothing more I can really say about that. So why am I being told this? Why do I know this? Why is this content? I don't really know. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to really get to a conclusive answer other than I think she just does it all for attention, and it is this very vicious cycle which clearly damages her, because while she does do a lot of these things deliberately, I don't think Amberlynn Reid enjoys what she does. It's very obvious that she is in a very emotionally vulnerable position. It's very clear to me she hates this job, and it is quite sad to witness, but that, you know, doesn't really devoid criticism from her, and if anything, it just makes you kind of want to criticize her more, so she realizes just you don't need to do this, just stop. But the Amberlynn cycle only continues, because then after all of this, Amberlynn got on the live stream where she once again started to discuss Tommy, and she actually then goes on to confirm that her and Tommy, shock surprise, had actually not broken up, and the only reason that she said they'd broken up is because she wanted to protect Tommy from the audience that was psychoanalyzing everything into the situation. And it's just like, you said to us before that you lie about things for attention back in 2019. Then you say you don't. But in that same video, you were lying about things. So it's like, what do you expect any of us to believe? Because at this point, it pretty much does just seem that Amberlynn is lying about basically everything, and it's like, Amberlynn, no one can trust you, so I don't know why you get mad at everyone, because the reason people don't trust you is because of your own actions. And after she confirms that yes, her and Tommy are still in their wonderful, beautiful romantic relationship, she then goes on to confirm again that Tommy definitely isn't a feeder, despite all the stuff on all these websites floating around, but she goes on to say that's definitely not the case.
Which rumors are not true. Tommy is not a feeder at all. And I got permission to share like why certain photos were online. So when Tommy was with her late fiance, they were long distance and they wanted to see each other more often. And to do so, they found a way to like make money. And it was never like out of like a like ill intent type of thing.
I mean, just based on everything Amberlynn has said in that, it does pretty much confirm everything that we kind of speculated over with all the screenshots. I know the screenshots definitely did just prove everything in the very beginning, but to me, this clip proves everything. The screenshots on the websites were real, and Amberlynn is pretty much trying to say that this wasn't something of ill intent and it was all for money. I mean, in terms of the ill intent part, I mean, obviously, it wasn't an ill intent thing. I don't necessarily believe Tommy intended to, you know, have this person, you know, pass away. I don't believe that. But the problem is obviously the thing that they're into is very, very harmful. Getting someone to gain weight. Obviously, they're into that, and I don't think there is ill intent there. But at the end of the day, it is a very, very damaging thing, and it's clear that Tommy very much has a specific, how do I go about this? She has a specific liking of specific larger individuals, and obviously, we can see a pattern of behavior. Long-distance relationship, Amberlynn, we all know she makes content about being a larger person, and we can clearly see that there are some familiar things going on here, especially with the fact that if you go further down the timeline in a non-chronological order, Amberlynn has gained weight during their relationship, and obviously you start to put two and two together and it all adds up. So naturally, as you can imagine, a lot of people did not really believe anything Amberlynn was saying here, in particular the financial incentive aspect of everything. I think more people just saw that this was once again another case of Amberlynn lying and being one of the biggest liars on the internet. But now we need to continue moving through this big mess of a timeline and introduce a new character in this story, and that is Alexis, the supposed former best friend of Amberlynn Reid. Now the reason that I'm introducing Alexis is because pretty much, well, Alexis is a known person in this storyline. Amberlynn, as I said, has confirmed that her and Alexis were best friends, and Alexis actually came out with a TikTok basically stating that she is no longer friends with Amberlynn because Amberlynn pretty much refuses to get out of her relationship with Tommy. Now the problem is all of these TikToks, all of the posts about this have pretty much been removed from the internet. So instead, we're gonna have to go through my research notes to pretty much timeline everything that happens during this set of events between Alexis and Amberlynn. So yes, let's get into it. On August the 3rd, 2024, Alexis states in a video that she is publicly no longer friends with Amberlynn because she did not want to support her relationship with Tommy. Then this turns into more beef on August the 4th, where Alexis posts more screenshots of Amberlynn refusing to talk to Alexis until she publicly apologizes to Alexis, and Alexis refuses to apologize. And then things become very weird, where pretty much strange drama ensues called Crumblegate, where Alexis in videos and streams hints that Erica sent videos of Amberlynn with, well, how do I say this, not many clothes on whilst eating cookies, and it pretty much just diverts into this big mess. Now, my personal opinion on this is Alexis pretty much backstabbed Amberlynn, and I know that might sound a little bit controversial, but yeah, you can be worried about your friend's relationship and you can actually step back and no longer want to participate in your friendship with that person because you can clearly see that your friend is not helping themselves, and I completely understand why that would have happened between Eric and Amberlynn. But then needlessly going into more and more drama, exposing private information, getting on videos and streams, to me personally, it's not something that a best friend would do. And I actually can understand why Amberlynn would be upset by Erica in this situation. I think the very first thing Erica did here in detaching herself from Amberlynn made sense, but pretty much everything after that to me was just Alexis going too far and absolutely stabbing Amberlynn in the back. And this is something that you're gonna discover when it comes to the Amberlynn verse, is pretty much a lot of people in this whole universe are honestly on the level of Amberlynn when it comes to attention seeking and being bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, more I look into this stuff, the more it kind of seems that a lot of the friends and family surrounding Amberlynn Reid are just as chaotic and just as messy as her. Because yes, when it comes to this backstabbing, things only become even more of a mess when Amberlynn uploaded a video after all of this where she states that she went on a double date with Alexis whilst Tommy was there. Yes, Tommy being the same individual that Alexis claimed that she could not be friends with Amberlynn with anymore because she saw that the relationship was obviously very worrying and concerning. And of course this caused a lot of people to get increasingly mad at people like Alexis and people like Amberlynn because yeah, it very much just seemed that this whole thing was becoming a bit of a reality TV show, a bit of a circus. And yeah, that caused a lot of people to go into the comment sections, go into the live chats, and just pretty much say to Amberlynn that she insulted her quite a lot, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to say you're right in doing that. Please don't go and do that. But I do kind of get the frustration. And of course, the Amberlynn Reid cycle that we created earlier really just foretells events in the future once again, because in every single chapter of this saga, Amberlynn, after she gets in more and more heat, seems to a few weeks later just upload a video about weight loss. And yeah, I do believe this is a distraction tactic. For example, only a few weeks after this stuff with Alexis, she uploaded multiple videos talking about her weight loss, and even before that she uploaded this video here during all of the feeder drama speaking about weight loss. It very much is a big part of this cycle, and you're going to see it keeps on repeating throughout all of this. And I want to specifically take a look at this video here because again, it's just something that Amberlynn loves to do when she's in the heat of controversy. Oh, people are rightly criticizing me, they're mad at me for a certain thing, I'll just upload a weight gain video, I'll get the kids talking about something else. And honestly, it does actually work for Amberlynn Reid, because for a long time I did just sit on the sidelines thinking, oh, the only issue here is the weight related stuff, I don't really care about anything else. But the reality is as I said at the beginning of this video, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Amberlynn Reid is so much more than the very beginning introductory drama of weight gain and weight loss. At this point, Amberlynn has done so many controversial things, been exposed for so many things, that the weight gain related stuff, I genuinely think her audience just see that and laugh at this point, and just see Amberlynn just doing things for attention to distract from very valid criticism. But to be fair, with this video, Amberlynn does actually go on to confirm that, yeah, she has gained weight, and of course, with the context of this situation, it did actually distract, and honestly, rightly so in this case, because obviously we have a lot of feeder conversation. We have seen somebody pass away who was a very large weight, 1,000 pounds allegedly. And of course, people are going to put two and two together, as I mentioned earlier, and think that something very worrying is going on here. And that obviously only frustrated and angered the audience even more, because people are seemingly being proven right. Our worries are being proven right in front of our eyes, and yet Amberlynn insists that the audience are absolutely in the wrong. Tommy's never done anything but be right in every single situation, and we are just absolutely stupid. And in the video, Amberlynn actually goes on to explain her weight gain by stating the reason that she gained weight is because it's like a side effect of her cellulitis.
I always gain weight back like super quickly after I have cellulitis.
But one Google search will tell you that cellulitis and weight gain aren't really intertwined. There is no real evidence to suggest that if you have cellulitis, you will gain weight. And yes, I am fully aware that I did just mispronounce cellulitis multiple times, and I think I actually did just mispronounce it once again. I'm not sorry. But then mysteriously after this, the story starts to divert a little bit, because Amberlynn obviously had angered her audience to a maximum extent over these few months, and mysteriously, after all of that, Amberlynn Reid disappeared, which was strange. Amberlynn is known as a content creator that uploads multiple videos every single week, but Amberlynn did not upload for a month, and it got a lot of people worried, because one of her last videos before leaving was about moving to Wisconsin, where Tommy lives, and of course, naturally, with everything that was going on, people started to get concerned. Was Amberlynn okay? Was she safe? What was going on? And as you can imagine, well, things were only starting to get worse. Because yes, after a month of being away, Amberlynn finally returned with a video titled Where I've Been, and in this video, Amberlynn pretty much explains to the world that things were just becoming a little bit too much to handle with everything going on in the saga, and that she just wanted to focus on her beautiful time with Tommy.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So, I've been gone for a minute. I needed a break. It was a much needed break. And honestly, I feel like I can continue this break, but so many of you are like, we miss you. Where are you?
Now, I don't actually have a problem with Amberlynn Reid taking some time off and actually just separating herself from the internet, because the whole thing I've been saying throughout this video is, honestly, why do I know any of this information? I don't need to know this stuff, as does anyone else on the internet, and it is actually pretty nice to see that Amberlynn decided to take some time for herself. But Amberlynn then started to upload more and more videos whilst being in Wisconsin, and it kind of got a lot of people out there speculating that Amberlynn, after just a month of being in a relationship with Tommy, had actually moved in with her. And naturally, with all the drama previously, everything adding up, the weight gain, all the screenshots on certain websites, people were concerned, because now Tommy had Amberlynn living with her, and that was all but confirmed, because Amberlynn obviously stated that she was in Wisconsin and had been there for over a month at this point. She had travelled with her animals. Her cats were with her, her dogs were with her, and obviously, when you go somewhere from a very far distance and you take all of your animals, you uproot your life, take all of your belongings, it's only gonna cause people to think that you've moved somewhere. And it seemed that she had moved in with Tommy, and people were worried that Tommy now had Amberlynn where she wanted her, and that was going to lead to a very dark and sinister situation, like we saw previously, allegedly. And naturally, people were worried, and of course, naturally, that led to Amberlynn playing on those worries, after she uploaded 2 videos titled We Need to Talk, and addressing everything. And you know, despite the dramatic thumbnails and despite the dramatic titles, nothing was addressed, and these videos were pretty much just outright clickbait that played into the worries of Amberlynn's audience. And of course, that just led to more upon more criticism of Amberlynn, and again, you just kind of have to ask yourself, why are you doing this? It isn't going to help you in any situation, and it does just make you think that of course she is doing all of this for bait and attention, and that does then lead us into the next chapter in this ever-long, massive, ridiculous, terrible saga, where Amberlynn uploaded a video once again about the Tommy Rumours, and as you can see, it did not exactly go down well with the audience, considering this is like the 50th video about this situation. I'm personally not that shocked.
A lot of you want someone to hate, and it's easy for you guys to hate Tommy. for whatever reason. You guys don't know her in person like I do, and I'm telling you, she is lovable and likable, and I am happy and in love with her. And I know a lot of people want to like twist this like really dark narrative, but I'm telling you, it's not real.
Now, obviously, this is pretty much the more of the same that we've seen throughout this video and throughout this entire saga. Amberlynn's pretty much being like, you guys have no valid reasons to hate on Tommy. And it's like, we've seen the screenshots on the website. We have seen the person's life literally go, like, we have seen so many bad things, and it just doesn't seem like a good time, Amberlynn. Too many things are adding up, and I think people have the very valid reason to be concerned. And I think what's mainly frustrating here is the sheer dismissive nature of Amberlynn Reid. It almost feels like she's looking down on everybody for just saying, Amberlynn, we're worried about you. And Amberlynn could get on camera and be like, guys, there's no need to be worried. I understand your concerns. That's all in the past. I'm personally fine. But she doesn't do that. This video is just Amberlynn pretty much just looking down on everyone in an incredibly condescending way of where she's almost just berating the audience for showing concern, and I really don't get why. But then this video leads into Amberlynn speaking about, again, more things that I really don't think that she really needs to speak about on her channel that involves Tommy. And I should just say, the next part that we're going to get into does include some level of serious allegations, and it does involve potential, jail time and stuff like that. I just wanted to put that warning there because, I don't want to say everything here is definitively true, but I do want to say I have tried to spend all my time in the last few days piecing all of this together and really working out what is going on here, what's being said, what's being accused, and I've written down some notes like I did before when I've tried to put everything together, and I've kind of come to this conclusion of whatever Amberlynn is talking about here. Pretty much, the serious situation that Amberlynn goes on to speak about involves an individual called Oh Lordy, It's Geordie, who reached out to a TikToker who had recently gained some traction for speaking about knowing Tommy personally. And basically, what was said is that their wife left them, the TikToker, their wife left them for Tommy, and that Tommy is a complete homewrecker who secretly hung out with this person's partner. And obviously, that's pretty funny considering Amberlynn Reid is also a homewrecker. It kind of seems that these two are destined to be in a terrible, terrible relationship. But yes, the allegations then go even further when the person claims that their now ex-wife had diabetes and was on, the bigger side. And they basically go on to allege that Tommy was pretty much partially responsible for this, as Tommy would not stop feeding them, and it plays into a lot of the things that we've discussed throughout this video, and a lot of the things that Amberlynn has denied. And then the accusations kind of move further into things such as, apparently Tommy had this ex-wife living in Tommy's basement. It becomes a bit of a meme in the community of people saying that this is the diabetic ex-wife who lives in a basement. It is very confusing, and at this point, whilst these are serious things, it doesn't seem the worst of the worst so far. It does just kind of confirm some of the rumors out there. It does kind of show, well, it does definitely show that Tommy has a very consistent pattern of going after certain people of certain body types. And there are a lot of rumors, and I'm not going to go into specific details, but all you really need to know is that yes, Tommy faced a lot of accusations by this person, and obviously at first people saw this and thought, how do we even know that this is true? How do we know that this person is even connected to Tommy? Because basically it's just a random TikToker, and I'm not going to show them because a lot of the TikToks have been deleted and archived. It's very hard to find all this information, but yeah, people very much doubted them. But then obviously in this video, Amberlynn outright confirms their existence.
I need you guys to hear what I am saying, please. I truly hate that I have to do this. I want my channel to reflect what's real in my life and not constantly having to make videos like this, defending Tommy's character because of a reaction channel who is so hungry for views and money and hot tea that they have created a whole false storyline that has thousands and thousands of people believing it. It's unfair to me, and it's unfair to Tommy. This is not the first time this reaction channel has done this. They have platformed a few people as long as they were willing to spill tea and share whatever could cause me or other people in my life to look bad for their benefit. There have been some serious misrepresentations made in a recent video on that reaction channel about an extremely painful chapter in Tommy's life. The video, which talks about a domestic situation involving Tommy and her ex, fails to include important facts, so it paints a false and harmful narrative. And I want to be very clear. Tommy is the victim here, not the one at fault. The details in the video were based on inaccurate and incomplete information from a third party with a clear agenda.
Now, immediately, before we get into anything here, there is something that the comments pointed out, and I think they have a very valid point with that. Because Amberlynn is also a third party with their own agenda, which kind of makes Amberlynn's point a little bit redundant, because she's coming on here and saying, oh, this third party has a personal agenda, and you shouldn't believe them because of that. But it's like, Amberlynn, you also have your own personal agenda, and whether that's right or wrong, you have your personal agenda, and everyone has the right to having their story heard. But just because you're a third party or somebody else is a third party doesn't necessarily mean that we should dismiss that. But yes, Amberlynn then gets further into the situation and pretty much outright confirms that yes, this person was the ex of the person that Tommy got with and destroyed their marriage. And pretty much Amberlynn actually goes on to flip things by stating that this person that Tommy was with was actually convicted of a felony and then went to jail, which obviously flips a lot of this on its head here. But then people start to do some research and discover that Amberlynn pretty much was being very exaggerative, as she, likes to be. Because yes, it was pretty much confirmed that Tommy, or Emily's ex, went to jail for a night and did not go to prison. And then somebody else also in the comment section points out that doesn't necessarily mean you're a terrible person or prove what Amberlynn is saying, because the police can throw you into jail for a lot of reasons, even self-defense. And yeah, that is very, very much true. And honestly, with this situation, it is kind of difficult to work out what was truly going on here. And honestly, I'm not going to give my conclusive opinion on what I really think here, because I don't really think that there are that many established screenshots and facts out there, and I understand some people will get mad at that, but at the end of the day, I have a responsibility with a channel of like 1 million subscribers. I'm not trying to brag, but I don't want to come on here and say these things are definitely true and definitely not true. But what I will say is Amberlynn does outright confirm the person's existence, and in my opinion, confirms the fact that Tommy definitely has been with multiple people of a larger size, and I think that's only more proving that Tommy definitely is a feeder, which obviously then only goes into confirming our worries about Amberlynn's relationship with Tommy, and it only makes the audience even more frustrated. And in comment sections to do with this drama, people were just basically stating that Amberlynn's video was terrible, and just in general how angry and mad they were at Amberlynn. It very much felt that even though Amberlynn had taken a month off social media, she had moved to Wisconsin and things had only gotten a million times worse. In fact, this whole Wisconsin arc is pretty much known as one of the more sadder and depressing arcs of Amberlynn Reid. A lot of people on her Reddit, a lot of people in her comment sections have pretty much just said that she needs to leave Wisconsin and go back to where she lives, because even though she was controversial back then, at this point, it's just getting really, really sad, and this drama had been going on for around 5 months at this point. But just like all things do in these situations, they only get worse, because a few days later, Amberlynn then uploaded this video titled "My Heart is Broken," and I'm not gonna lie to you, this video is genuinely very, very depressing to watch, and I am gonna try and hold on playing too many clips from it, because yes, what this video is about is Amberlynn basically confirming that yes, she has moved in with Tommy, and that she has taken all of her pets to Tommy's, and that was a very big move. And then she also then goes on to confirm that her cat is indeed missing.
But yes, my cat Rarity is missing, and I have done nothing but cry. It happened 2 nights ago, and I put full blame on myself because there's a yard, and that's where I let the dogs out to go to the bathroom, and it's through like a glass door, and I've just had a lot on my mind with everything that's been going on. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I've just been going through a lot, and I wasn't thinking, and I left the glass door open just like, I don't know, like this much. And I'm telling you, when I noticed, it was like 20 minutes later, but it literally just takes a second. And Rarity is like one of the most adventurous cats.
Now, I do want to say that I do feel bad for Amberlynn Reid here. Having your pet run away, it's obviously a very sad thing, and I think as much as people want to be hypercritical about Amberlynn's actions of her carelessness here, this is something that can happen to pretty much anyone. My dog has bursted out of the door before and escaped, and it's just something that can happen. And I'm sure a lot of people in my audience and even Amberlynn's audience will relate to that. But again, this video did receive a bit of criticism because people were basically wondering, if your cat has just run away, how have you found the time to immediately jump on camera and capitalize on this for attention? Why are you speaking about this, and why are you not outdoors looking for your cat and doing everything that you possibly can? And honestly, yeah, I can understand this. If this video was like a week after the cat had gone missing, I would get the video, but this video seems to be just like immediately after the cat has gone missing and they've done a few hours of searching. To me, it is a bit weird and only plays into the thing of, why do I need to know this? Why do I need to see this? Amberlynn will say that, oh, well, this is my lifestyle channel and I document my life. But at the end of the day, especially in this situation, as your cat or animal escapes, they're going to be going further and further away, and time is very precious. So even spending like an hour making a YouTube video, that's only going to contribute to your cat not being found and possibly dying. Like that's the sad reality. A house cat escaping, going into a world that they don't understand, they don't know how to hunt. Well, most cats do, but you know, they won't really last that long out there, and spending more time like this crying on a camera isn't really going to do anything for that cat. And I know that is a bit overly critical, and I can understand that, but if there's one valid criticism I do truly get, is that throughout this video, Amberlynn is just like weirdly bigging up Tommy, and I'm like, I just don't understand the need.
Like, I don't know where the she is, and it's been just like literally sorry Tommy has helped so much. Like, I just feel so just like defeated, and Tommy has made like online posters and put it on different websites, and like went outside, and we've been like yelling her name, and like she loved it here, and like her and Tommy were so sweet. Like Rarity would like sleep on top of her, and like they would play like and it's like Rarity genuinely loved it here, and all the cats got along. I just don't know what else to do. And Tommy, like, without her in the situation, like, I would feel lost. I would feel even more lost than I already do. We're both hurting. And Tommy loved her too. Like, it's just so sad. Like, Tommy already has like cameras like outside of her house, like security cameras. But
to me personally, this is just kind of weird. It almost feels like she's trying to make her audience like grow into accepting Tommy and liking Tommy, and she's going to use the fact that her cat has escaped in a way to, I guess, get us to like Tommy now because a cat liked Tommy. It's like, that's not really how this works. And to me personally, and to a lot of people out there, it almost felt like Amberlynn was trying to capitalize on her cat going missing by trying to push this emotional turmoil onto her audience and being like, hey, I'm really sad, please like Tommy. And that is just a bit sick and a bit twisted. And again, I feel bad for Amberlynn, but this is just getting very, very depressing at this point. And a lot of people also pointed out, well, you've moved to Wisconsin, you've uprooted your life and moved hundreds of miles, and you've taken your animals out of their comfort zone just because you met someone on the internet a month ago. And naturally people said, that isn't fair for the pets, and now you've got pets that are probably a little bit agitated, a little bit uncomfortable, and that will lead to them trying to escape. So yeah, there are a lot of valid criticisms to do with this video, but I also do just want to say, I hope Amberlynn eventually finds her cats. But a capitalization into this very depressing drama, which obviously pulls on anyone's heartstrings because we all love our pets, only then continues, because shortly after this video, like a day later, Amberlynn uploads a video titled Where is Twinkie? And this video is just Amberlynn saying for a few minutes that her dog isn't missing, and that her reason for making this video is basically that there was like one post out there making a joke or a troll about Amberlynn's dog also going missing. And again, it just plays into the thing of, why do I need to know this? But also, it just feels like Amberlynn is trying to make content out of absolutely everything, even if that is worrying her audience once again, which is honestly very, very sad. But Amberlynn worrying her audience deliberately is something that she loves to do, and again, only a few days after this, she uploaded a consecutive amount of videos with very concerning titles, such as The Truth and This Is All Becoming Too Much, and I'm done. And all of these videos are of course clickbait, and look, I'm somebody that isn't really that offended by clickbait. You've got to get your views somehow, but given the context of everything that has gone on over the last 6 months, given the context that people are genuinely concerned about the well-being of Amberlynn's animals, I think that these titles are pretty unfair. I don't think that she should be posting things like this, given how worried her audience are. And of course, this then leads us into the last section of the Amberlynn Reid cycle once again, because yes, she received a lot of criticism after all of this. She revealed private information, she got criticism, and then that takes us all the way to the ending point of the cycle, where Amberlynn once again uploads videos about her weight gain / weight loss in I've gained weight and let's talk about my weight loss journey. And these videos all take me back to that clip that we spoke about towards the beginning of this video, of where Amberlynn states that she isn't lying anymore, she's not trolling anymore. She was doing that in 2019, but she's not that person anymore. Well, what are these videos? To me, they are very much trolling, they are very much doing things for attention, and it does just show that Amberlynn was lying in that clip from earlier. And again, that just makes me feel, well, everything that we've been speaking about here, everything that her audience have been complaining about and worrying about, it's all most likely true, and the worries for Amberlynn Reid are very much justified, and also the anger is also very justified. And that takes us pretty much to the ending of this giant saga, of where Amberlynn finally confirms to her audience that she actually is going to move back home and no longer live with Tommy.
Okay, you guys, so I kind of just need to rip the band-aid off in this moment. I have been prolonging this conversation. It has been something that I'm also trying to deal with behind the scenes. I have been going back and forth between, do I go back to Oklahoma or do I stay here for a little bit longer? And I think ultimately the right choice is going back to Oklahoma. So that has been something I've been doing, like I said, behind the scenes. I have been packing and getting ready for that. There's just things that I need to do there, and I really miss my mom. It's a hard choice to make, I'm not gonna lie, but deep down, I feel like in this moment, it's the right one.
You know what? I'm going to be real with you. This is probably the best thing Amberlynn has decided to do over the last year, because this whole entire scandal has just been an absolute mess beyond belief. And yes, her moving home doesn't mean that Tommy is out of the picture, but I definitely think that her audience are less worried now, as they're not going to be with each other 24/7. And with us finally at the ending of this saga, I guess I should just conclude my thoughts now of everything that's gone on throughout this entire mess of a saga. So basically, in my long drawn out opinion, Amberlynn Reid is a very confusing individual, because if you've never seen anything to do with her and just took her at face value and the very tip of the iceberg of the drama with Amberlynn Reid, you'd honestly probably feel bad for her. But honestly, after years of researching into this person and speaking about them, I find it more and more difficult to feel bad for Amberlynn Reid, and that's mainly due to the fact that she intentionally does everything for drama. And I know I've said it quite a lot throughout this video, but it just kind of feels that the further you go down this rabbit hole, there is just more and more self-inflicted controversy. None of this would have happened if she didn't just feel the need to tell the entire world about her private business. Amberlynn knows that she has a very dedicated audience who will discuss every single detail that she gives to them, and yet she chooses in every single instance to give more and more unneeded details. For example, the video she uploaded a day after her cat went missing about her dog. Was there really a need to make a video responding to pretty much one singular Reddit rumor? To me, absolutely not. But Amberlynn Reid is a confusing individual. She, in my opinion, loves and hates the drama. I think she loves it because she knows it will boost her pockets massively. All of this is giving Amberlynn money at the end of the day, and I think that's absolutely why she does this. But do I believe this is the career Amberlynn Reid truly wants to go with? No. I don't think anyone in a sane mind would want to do what Amberlynn Reid does, but I don't think things are going to change anytime soon, because the Amberlynn Reid cycle is a vicious cycle, and I don't think it's something that Amberlynn can truly get out of unless she truly detaches herself from all of social media. Because at the end of the day, Amberlynn does not help herself in any situation, and she has to get involved in any piece of drama matter, no matter how ridiculous it is, and no matter how serious it is. To summarize and conclude this long story, pretty much, this has been the Amberlynn Reid cycle, and I would not be surprised if this time next year, I'm sat here making another video about the latest cycle of Amberlynn Reid, where she's got herself involved in yet again another ridiculous and crazy situation. But overall, I do think at the very heart of this situation, there is an actual real concern to be had. I think that Tommy clearly has demonstrated a very clear pattern of behavior that I am actually concerned about. I think Amberlynn is absolutely ridiculous if she truly does not believe that Tommy is into the things that she's been accused of. I truly believe that she is at somewhat level of a risk, and I think throughout this video, we have pretty much proved that. But at the end of the day, there's nothing I can really do about it, so I just go onto my little YouTube channel and speak about these things. But yes, that is finally the ending of this video. I would love to know what you guys think about the situation, because obviously there has been a multitude of things we've gone through today, and I understand a lot of it is wacky, a lot of it is silly, a lot of it isn't necessarily what I would talk about in a usual video. Please, I just had to go through everything because I have received a lot of requests about this situation, and honestly, it has been an insane thing to dive into. So yes, please let me know your thoughts down below. If you want to hear me go into this in another long form setting, go to my podcast, Over the Pond with a Beast to Beast, where we go into the situation and we kind of look at it in a more, I guess, humorous manner. It's a very entertaining listen, I can't lie to you. So please go subscribe to Over the Pond. Please follow my Instagram at inabber. And yes, I'm going to go to bed now because this has just been too much. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you very much for coming along. Please like this video. Please subscribe. And yeah, peace out.